Economic Forum, World Economic Forum. I know. It's been driven into the ground, but it keeps coming up. And it seems as if no politician, prominent business person, or media personality can't say anything without a chorus of voices saying that person is a WEF plant or something. It's really kind of actually gotten out of control. Unfortunately, after a couple of years of bad government policy, a massive increase in authoritarianism, and with some conspiracy theories actually proving to be true, though, the WEF thing really grows some legs. The thing with the WEF is that it isn't a conspiracy. It's right there in front of us. It's a group of elitists headed by Klaus Schwab who meet annually and discuss plans and means to bring about world socialism. They openly speak of using what they call the Great Reset as a means to expand government and reset the economic systems of the world into some sort of form of centralized collectivism. Now, while the wish list of the WEF is bold and odious, it doesn't mean they're actually getting anywhere with it. While they like to brag about how many decision makers they have on board, they don't exert nearly the amount of control that many attribute to them. I mean, just because a person's attended one of their events doesn't mean that they embrace the ideology of the group. Or just because the group's endorsed or referenced somebody, it doesn't mean that person's controlled or even approves of that group. If you label everybody as a WEF adherent, nobody is a WEF adherent. Now, some people really are adherents to the WEF ideology. Some people really think the organization's plans are a great idea and that governments should be implementing them. We don't need to do some sort of deep dive to find these folks, like the World Economic Forum itself. It's right in the open. So I'm going to play a 2-minute clip of Conservative Party of Canada leadership contender Jean Charest as he spoke to Terry Malusky back in 2018 with the CBC about the World Economic Forum. And let's hear what Jean Charest has to say about that organization.
Premier of Quebec and the former Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, Jean Charest. I'm very glad you were able to join us, Mr. Charest, and I appreciate your time very much. I want you to know, first of all, if I can ask you, how can this trip to Davos serve Trudeau's purpose? I mean, how important is it really in promoting Canadian business? Does it make a difference?
Well, Davos is an interesting opportunity. I went 9 times as Premier of Quebec, and the advantage, Terry, is that there are a lot of decision makers concentrated in the same place, same time, and you can meet a lot of people and get a lot of work done.
You've been there so many times. Give me an example. I mean, what happens that actually, I'm thinking of the CETA example,
yes,
which grew out of, I think, you tell me if this is right or wrong, out of some backroom meeting you had at Davos, right?
In 2007. And there were a number of people in Europe at the time that I consulted. One of them was the ex-president of Mexico who had done that, a gentleman named Zedillo. So the point is, that's where you can meet these people and get things done. So it is a place where you can advance your cause. But it's also a place where typically countries like India or China will go to present themselves.
Okay, final word now on the big picture, I guess. For most people watching this, they know that Davos is a place where the fancy people in private jets go and talk about things and have a great time and maybe hit the ski slopes. What can you point to tell the average folks that it makes a difference, that the economic results actually do emerge from Davos? You mentioned CETA. Well, that was a long time. That was 2007. Yeah. What have you done for us lately?
Well, Terry, it's very simple. But first of all, I don't know if a single politician went to Davos who actually skied. Look at it as a shopping center for politicians, in the sense that it's an opportunity where you can meet a lot of political investors that there are companies that will or have or are interested in investing in your country in a very short period of time. And it's a very efficient way of doing business if you look at it that way. So even, yes, it is elitist. It is, there's no doubt about that, movie stars and people. But at the end of the day, a prime minister can get a lot of good work done in Davos when they're well organized to meet a lot of decision makers.
Jean Charest, always a pleasure to have you on, sir. Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Jean Charest, former Premier of Quebec.
So yeah, I mean, as can be seen and heard, there's no nefarious hidden agenda. It's all right there in front of us. Charest's being candid, if nothing else. And I don't fault Charest for admitting the event is elitist. Any gathering of world leaders will indeed be so by nature. I agree, meetings need to be held between politicians and business leaders in order to get things done. What I don't agree with, though, is that these meetings need to be done with a group that carries an open mandate to take advantage of world misery due to a pandemic in order to impose what they call a reset. This is disturbing. Conferences and gatherings are essential and they need themes. They need to be held with a more neutral platform, though, than what the World Economic Forum offers. World leaders can gather without tying themselves into what that group does. I mean, those celebrating the World Economic Forum do at least expose themselves to us for what they are. They're the people who want to expand the state. These are the folks that want to bring about world socialism. These are the people who don't feel they should be guided by citizens. They feel they should be directing them. If we want to empower citizens, if we want to protect and expand personal freedoms, if we want to reduce the reach of government, we need to avoid WEF-linked leadership at all costs. When deciding who to support in elections and leadership races, it's worth seeing if the contenders support the WEF. Don't worry, it won't be hard to see them if they do. As with Trudeau and Charest, they tend to wear it right on their sleeves. But again, quit trying to paint anybody and everybody as being WEF controlled as well, though. If they say they don't support the group, they likely don't. Those who support it make no secret about it. So watch these things, keep track, guys. It's for real, but again, it's not as widespread as some other people might think. Now, you know, so somebody else saying, where was that? Somebody saying Charest is a liberal plant. He's not a plant. Again, it's not a conspiracy. He is a liberal. He was a liberal premier of Quebec for years there. Nothing hidden, nothing secret, and he's still a liberal. He's just running for a party that happens to have conservative in the name.